Hi, my name is Julianne. So today I'm going to actually be talking about knitting, which I'm a booktube channel, so I mostly talk about books, but also like media in general, like TV shows or movies or even podcasts. But today I'm going to be talking about knitting. It's a new hobby of mine that I picked up in this quarantine times. But before I get into that, I just wanted to do a quick shout out to C.L. Williams. So he put out a book called Tales from the Forbidden Forest. I edited one of his short stories. The short story is called Only the Beginning. It's an anthology, and it's a horror anthology, so it's a bunch of different like horror stories. So like basically the premise of the anthology, the stories are kind of like connected by these demons who are just telling their tale and, you know, being like, this is why I'm the worst demon, that kind of thing. So it's kind of like a fun horror story if you want to check it out. But he did shout me out in his video, which I'll link down below. So I just wanted to shout out and just kind of like let you guys know about that book. Just to be clear, I'm not being sponsored, I'm not being asked to do this or anything like that. I just wanted to shout out a fellow writer. And I'll leave a link to his book as well, which is on Amazon. So I just wanted to go into a little history why I'm like into knitting, and then we can go into all the projects and stuff I've been doing. Can't show everything because some things are actually presents, so I can't show them. So how I got into knitting originally was actually through my aunt. When she came to visit one time, she had like knitting needles and yarn and stuff, so we were all like learning how to knit from her. And so I kind of got into that. I'm pretty sure I made a dishcloth, but I can't remember if I actually made one or if like I completed one. I feel like I did. I don't know where it went. I'm pretty sure I finished a dishcloth, and that was like the last time I knitted, which was like years ago. At this point, I think it was like a decade, which is kind of insane. But after that, I didn't really knit at all, and then I kind of got back into knitting because of, ironically enough, Tiffany Fur. She actually had a video about Makara Tours, and Makara Tours does like sewing videos, which I'm not really like into sewing originally. Now I am. But when I was watching her, I was like, man, I really want to get creative, like through Makara Tours. I really just want to get super creative about something. I want to make a project. I decided, you know what, I'll just take up knitting because I actually understand how knitting works, kind of, you know, like vaguely remember stuff. So I decided to go into knitting instead of like trying to learn how to sew or whatever. But now I really want to start sewing too. But I just started watching a bunch of people who like knit, and I've really gotten into it through all of these people. So I'll be talking about those people later, but I kind of want to jump into the actual projects I've been doing because that's what I'm really excited about to share with you guys. But I'll also like shout out some channels that I've been watching to like inspire me, but also some sewing channels too, because those kind of help with creativity, even if it's not necessarily sewing or not necessarily knitting. So I originally did 2 dishcloths. One was all pearls, the other one was all knits, and I really kind of wanted to practice both types of knitting. I have the one that's knitted that I use as a dishcloth. The other one, I was like, it's too pretty. I don't actually want to use it. But now I can't find where I put it. I swear it was in a drawer, and now it's not there anymore, so I don't know what happened. But I can show pictures here for you guys so you can see what it looks like. The other dishcloth that I did, this is one that is the, I think, first or second version I did. Best version I actually gave away as a gift because I just couldn't give this away because it just looked ugly. It's called the One Row Knit, I think is what it's called. I'll leave a link to that video of like who I saw down below. So it's kind of hard to see. Yeah, this way you can kind of see how it kind of bumps up, so it kind of almost looks like waves to me at least. And this is the type of yarn that it's like, what is it called? I don't know, like the yarn is different colors. So as you knit, every time you knit, it kind of creates something different. Anyway, so that's that. This is before I knew how to block, by the way, which we'll get into.
Hi, Editing Julianne here. I never actually talked about the blocking. Basically, I just didn't understand what blocking was, but now I do. So the projects that I'm giving away now, I've actually blocked so they look nice. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically, there's different ways of doing it, but basically it's to preserve the shape of the project. So the way I did it was I put it in like warm water and then I pinned it down on cardboard because I actually don't have an ironing board, which is something I need to get. I have an iron, I just don't have a board. So I just pinned everything down on cardboard and it worked fine.
I messed up here on this section. I don't even know what I did, but as you can see, that's just not correct. I also made, and this is the thing that I'm most excited by, I made a scarf. Like, I am so proud of this. Like, I actually made an actual scarf. Like, what? I live in Florida where it's hot as hell. And so it's finally like 64 degrees and I'm like, oh my god, finally. I miss the cold so much. So I can wear my scarf today. So what I did is that it's all pearls. So I wish I did it all as a knit because I just wanted to practice, but I like the pattern anyways. Like, it looks really, really nice. There is, right at the beginning, and this is, I do know why I did this wrong, I have like a little bit of a hole right there, and that's because I started knitting with the tail instead of the like active yarn. So, whoops, don't do that because you'll get a hole. But besides that, I like it. I like it so much, and it's just so comfy, and it's not anything special, like a special like kind of pattern, but it was a fun project. It really got me to understand how long a scarf is, how long it takes, that kind of thing. By the way, I just found it. This is the second one that I worked on, and it looks super good like this. Like, and this is the pearl. I'm pretty sure this is the pearl one. I'm not great at reading knitting, but yeah, I really like it. I like my little thing. This is before I knew how to weave the ends in, so I just have a little thing there, which is kind of nice. You can hang it. So this was the yarn that I used. Some of the yarn I have, like, I still have the tag or whatever, like that one around it. This one, I think I still have it somewhere. I take them off before, now I don't, but before I took them off, so it's kind of like, it's good to keep them on so you know what kind of yarn it is. So I also use this yarn as well. It's blue. It basically looks like this one kind of, but just more blue, and it's a solid blue, and I use this as a project. Another dishcloth. It's a present for someone, so I'm not going to show you. I also have this yarn that I use this to make a project. So this is another project I'm working on. So as you can see, I've already started this one. I also got this. I was also going to double knit using this color on the pink, but I got a size 3 yarn, and the person that I was watching uses a size 6 yarn. So I'm using a bigger needle because their needle size is like 10 millimeters, and so I'm like, honestly, it's too spaced out. So I went down to a 9 millimeter. I'll see how that turns out. I kind of did a couple sample sizes just to kind of see what I like, and I think the 9 millimeters will look fine, but I think the spaces will be too big that the double knit just won't work on it. So bought this for no reason. We'll see what happens. And then I bought this. I just think it looks so pretty. I love the color. I was debating on what to make this, and I think I might make it into like a little sweater thing. Not like a sweater like this, but a little jacket, you know, or I think the word would be cowl. Not 100% sure if I know what a cowl is, but I think I do. So I might make it into that. But basically, just like a little jacket, and I think there's enough here. We'll see. But it looks like there's enough yarn. Just love the color. It's so pretty. Alright, so I wanted to also go into the people that I've been watching and stuff. So I'm gonna stay on the knitting side of things for now, and then I'll move on to talking a little bit about sewing. Again, I'm not sewing, I'm just watching people sew, but at some point I will get into it. So I will say that with knitting, the first person that I've watched that I think is amazing for beginners, like if you are a beginner, go to RJ Knits, because honestly, he's just really good at explaining it, especially if you're a beginner, and I can see my light in my glasses, so that's kind of annoying and distracting, but okay, we'll continue. Some of it can be kind of confusing. Not just him, but just like anyone, it can be kind of confusing. So if someone's like, alright, you know, like if it's for a beginner and you're like, okay, this is how you do a scarf, and you might be like, okay, I understand how to do everything past the casting on, but if you're like, I don't understand what you mean by long tail, don't be afraid to look up what they're saying, because somebody else will have explained it. Another person, so there's RJ Knits, there's another person whose name I will put here, that's the one that I was doing the one row. For some reason, I cannot remember her name, and I don't know why, and it's bothering me. But she's cool too. This other person, I'm making a I'm making a project, which is a present, so I don't want to say what it is. But I am making a project from her. I think it's CJ Designs. I believe I'm correct. CJ Designs. And so she has some really good videos. I know she has a lot of videos on hats, so if you're interested in doing any hats, I would recommend doing that. Oh, there's another person, Sheep and Stitch, I believe is the name. Seriously, check out her channel. She also explains gauge, which I kept hearing the word gauge, and I'm like, what is this? I don't understand it. She has such a good video on gauge, so I'll leave a link below to her thing and to like her channel and then her explanation of gauge, because honestly, so helpful. So helpful. Oh my god. Another person I watch who does knitting is Engineering Knits, and she does historical knitting, which is very fascinating. Like she takes historical patterns that were written in like the 1890s and knits based off of that, and she kind of translates them to like our modern day speaking, and then she will knit that pattern, and it's very fascinating. I'll leave a link to her channel, but like honestly, if you're just like high anxiety, just watch her videos because they're so calming. So, highly recommend them. And the last person I wanted to shout out was Grace O'Neill. She's Irish, and I love like the Irish accent, so I just think like, I don't know, it's really nice to hear her talk. She's so good at knitting, and she knits like so much. And you should see her like sewing, knitting workroom, because it's like, and behind her is just so much yarn, and it's so beautiful. It's like, her like background is equivalent to me with all my books, but imagine yarn. Like, she's so lovely. I definitely recommend checking her out. She's like one of my favorites to watch. Those were all the knitting people I wanted to discuss. Now I just want to discuss a little bit about sewing people. Like I said, I discovered Mikara Tours through Tiffany Ferg, and freaking love Mikara Tours. She's so funny. I love how high energy she is, you know? Every video you're like, her sewing project is this. But that is just like the B plot to like her life. Because there's just so much crazy stuff happening in the videos, and they're just so funny. So I'll leave a link to her channel and Tiffany Ferg's video, so you guys can like be convinced to watch her videos, because she's so funny. And so watching Mikara Tours, like, I don't know, create all of these things, I was like, I need to knit, I need to make clothes, I need to do this stuff. So anyways, I discovered Bernadette Banner because she was like in my recommendation. So I just started watching her videos, and she's so lovely. She's so funny. I really, really enjoy her videos because they're just so calm. Like, I would watch them, like I watch ASMR videos where it's just like, I just use it to relax, to fall asleep. Like, they're just so relaxing and so informative because she discusses like the history on dressmaking. She sews like in a historical way. Like, she has a sewing machine from like literally from, I believe, the 1890s, so it's kind of crazy. She does try to sew in like a historical way, and it's very fascinating. I definitely recommend checking her out. And then I also discovered this other person. My boyfriend's brother's girlfriend introduced me to Rachel Matsky. I highly recommend Rachel Matsky as well. She's so funny. Like, meme queen. To be honest, kind of the reason why I subscribed was she made a psych reference, and I'm like, yep, okay, I'm subscribed. And she also does sewing, but she's not just funny. She has more to offer than her humor. But I definitely recommend Rachel Matsky and Mikara Tours and Bernadette Banner. Those are the three that I've been watching. I definitely want to check out other people. I just haven't yet, but eventually I'll get into it all. Anyways, those were pretty much everybody I watch, I think. I might be missing a few, but I'll leave everyone's link down below so you guys can check it out, kind of learn about knitting and sewing if you're interested. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I really wanted to discuss. Talk about some knitting stuff I've been doing, some people I've been watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this little video about knitting, even though normally I talk about books. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Happy reading, or knitting, or whatever. Bye!
Yeah, that's it. Just a, ow. Wow, I banged into the desk.
I'm choking on coffee. Oops. It's December 1st. So officially it's time to take down all the Halloween decorations and put up some I actually have more Halloween decorations than I do Christmas decorations, so it's not gonna take that long to put up my tiny tree. It's very tiny.